Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Yes, this is Showtime. And yes, I am Marcus Shadow. I am still here. My show is still here. Though it will be changing. But it won't be changing for a little while. So because it is WrestleMania season upon us, I have decided to look at a movie that has to do with WrestleMania. It's a
Ready
new
to rumble?
movie.
Ah.
No. But it is a relatively new movie. It just came out about a week ago. And it is called Scooby Doo WrestleMania Mystery. Yes, it's the new Scooby Doo movie with animated WWE people. And joining me for this review, the regular knuckleheads from over on the wrestling side of things, we have Chriz, aka the Mole.
Hello.
And James Phoenix.
Yo.
All right, boys, let's talk WWE and Scooby Dooby Doo.
Welcome to WWE City.
Exactly. I think WWE City was an awesome concept. What do you guys think?
I thought it was an awesome concept, but it technically turned WWE into TNA, where they only have one city where they go to.
Kinda, yeah.
Pretty much, and I'm not sure we want to live in a place where the law stipulates that you can get out of any crime by winning a match.
Oh, I'd love that.
You would. You're a boxer.
Oh, you telling me that wouldn't be fun for you to just say, no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go and steal the latest whatever video game book or something, and then it's like, okay, so you're gonna put me in a wrestling match? Okay, can I at least choose my opponent? Give me Hornswoggle.
I think it'd be hilarious if my crime is fucking streaming illegally WrestleMania, and to get out of it, I'm fighting a match during my illegal stream of WrestleMania.
Oh no, darling, your real crime is wearing that shirt with those pants. Uh-huh.
Hi, Simon.
He never gets mentioned enough.
We mention
he
him
never
because we
does.
love him.
Although he did appear in the first It Came from Netflix, which will be available this month.
Nice.
But no, WWE City does sound like a cool place. And I don't like the idea WWE doesn't go on tour; it just stays in one location. But
Yeah.
I do like the idea of a city that they like, let's say Connecticut or where the fuck WWE's base is. If they were to call it like WWE City or WWE area, and include like they used to have Times Square in New York, and it used to be basically you go in there and it's like a restaurant themed on WWE. I always wanted to go there, and then it closed down.
Oh, WWE World or whatever in New York.
Yeah, the WWE restaurant or whatever the hell it was. Or WWE
Yeah, it used to be
Times Square.
WWE New York, and they made it WWE the World.
Yeah, I assume James went. That was on his backyard.
Yeah, I went to WWE New York once before it was the World.
How was that?
Pretty cool. I got a lanyard that I wore for years.
Nice. But yeah, when they first said
You must
WWE
have
City,
stunk.
ooh.
You must have
Funny.
stunk if you wore the same thing for a year.
I said I got a lanyard.
I don't know what that is.
I'm fucking one of those things you wear around your neck, like if you had a backstage pass or something on it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. When you said that, I was imagining like a scarf or a hat or something. But fair enough. The
No,
backstage
there's like a
pass
neck
stuff.
chain thing. It said WWE New York logo all over it.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, the first thing that I thought of when I saw WWE City is, and I think this would be actually kind of cool if they did it in real life, is I was basically imagining Disneyland for WWE.
Pretty much.
That would be awesome. First thing I was thinking of is Slam City.
Or that. There you go. That's what they should have done since it was so close to the debut of Slam City. What they should have had like the gang of like rides into WWE City, and they walk, and it's like say the van breaks down, they pull up to the mechanic shop, and there's John Cena all greasy from working on cars.
There you go.
That would have been hilarious. Did we lose the mole?
Yep.
Oh no, there he is.
No, I'm here. I was just coughing, so I mute the mic.
Ah, okay.
Fair enough.
So okay, we like Slam City. Let's actually talk about Mystery Inc. What did you guys think of the portrayal of our title characters in this movie?
You mean of the Scooby Doo gang or the
Yeah,
wrestlers? Yeah.
Mystery Inc.
I liked what they did with all the Scooby Doo characters in there. I thought they all felt accurate. I loved the fact Daphne got basically a big crush on Cena. I thought that was so good because she's meant to be like the girly girl and all the women love Cena. It made so much sense. The only downside, which I will say, is I did not like Daphne's face in this. Her face looked off to me, like the eyes looked off.
Fair enough. Mr.
Okay.
Foods.
And yeah, I can agree with that. She did seem a little off.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. She did seem like she was a little bit off on that. You are right. And in the eye area, it seemed like I don't know, like they drew it weird for some reason.
And I will say I'm completely shocked Shaggy's favourite wrestler was John Cena.
Why are you shocked by this?
Based on the character type Shaggy is, I thought it would have been RVD or Jeff Hardy.
Ah,
True. I think it would have been
Yep.
really hilarious if his favorite superstar was CM Punk.
Yes.
I love CM Punk. Reggie, isn't he straight edge?
Yep. I think it would have been also hilarious if Scooby Doo had talked about how I want to go to WCW to just be like my all-time favorite wrestler of all time. Oh, Junkyard Dog. Just for the obvious dog puns.
there you go.
I love what they did with Velma in this movie, to be honest. I love the fact that she's holding on to her, well, for lack of a better phrase, her gym demeanor until the very end. And she's just like, yes, this is awesome!
I would say not necessarily gym demeanor. She was more of she really did not like wrestling. Which you get people out, and that's something that surprised the fuck out of me.
Oh?
When Shaggy and Scooby sat down and were like, we're going to go to WrestleMania. And the whole gang's like, we don't want to go. That doesn't interest us. And it's like 3 of them, it doesn't interest us. That surprised me. Because normally WWE, if they could portray their product like that, you'd think they'd make it so everyone loves WWE. But no, they actually did ironically, a realistic take.
Yeah, they did.
And I will say, Shaggy and Scooby being like, oh, do we ever ask you for anything? And they're like, well, no, we don't. Let me show you why. And just drops a whole stack of photos of various disguises. It was genius. Out of all the time, they've never asked for anything, and yet they're always used. So it's like they guilted them into it.
And it worked awesomely. And I also think it was kind of hilarious how, despite the fact that for number one, the opening sequence for this entire movie was awesome. I want to say that off the bat. And number 2, I like the fact that all the things that they quoted in the images were original new things that they humiliating things they came up with that Shaggy and Scooby have done. They didn't actually use the ones from any of the existing series, so I thought that was kind of funny too.
Nice. I thought they may be new stuff. I wasn't sure because I haven't watched all of like Mystery Inc. and the new one, so I wasn't sure if it may have come from that or something. But cool.
No, they just made up some other ones so that it'd be funny for the sake of here's some funny new stuff.
And I will say that's something I also liked with the Scooby Doo people.
What's that?
The theme song, yeah, how they did Daphne's face, even though it looked slightly off. The portrayal of the characters, it felt old school Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it did.
One of the concerns I felt was with this was going to be the Mystery Inc. Scooby, where you had, I think, like, doesn't Velma date Shaggy and stuff like that? So
yeah, pretty much.
So I was thinking they may go that route, which may alienate old school fans, but they didn't. They knew their target audience and they stuck to it. And I approve of that. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And before we continue, for the benefit of our audience, I should mention that, in case you haven't noticed, there will probably be spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we're both rabid Scooby-Doo fans, and anyone who's ever watched any of our stuff knows we're rabid WWE fans.
What do you mean both? There's 3 of us here, buddy.
Well, no, I'm saying we're both fans of Scooby-Doo and of WWE. Is what I was saying.
I think what he was referring to is the fact he's really short. It's almost like we're 2.5 men Men, men, men,
Men,
men,
men,
men,
men, men.
men, men. He
Men,
hates me.
manly men.
He hates it.
Yes, because it's just two franchises we love. We will pick the shit out of this. Fair warning.
I will say, I love both of them. I will not be nitpicking this. It's wonderful. It's like I could have
Yeah, I
nitpicked
like
the
it.
crap out of Scooby Doo meets Batman, but I just turned my brain off and I enjoyed the crap out of that.
Right.
There you
And I do
go.
want to say, and I mentioned this to Mole earlier, the game that Scooby and Shaggy are playing, I want that in the next WWE game. I want fucking Sin Cara dance off. I want that. That's just awesome. I like that concept.
See, that one happened because that would require Kinect to actually function.
Make it DDR.
Connect can function.
Not well.
It functions.
Yeah, that's what I said. Make it DDR. Just make them impresses. I just want a WWE dance game in the vein of fucking Star Wars Connect. Come on, make it happen.
I just want a WWE game that works.
That too.
But I'm.
But no. So yeah, the Scooby Gang were all represented well.
Indeed, and surprisingly enough, the voices were really good. I was a little afraid of, because Frank Welker's getting up there in age, the voice wouldn't sound quite right, but he's still friggin' spot on, and
He is.
that's why he's the man.
Pretty much.
So, what did we think of the WWE side of things? How the superstars were represented, their voice work and whatnot?
I'm gonna say, first of all, weird as fuck their choices.
Yes.
Kind of.
Some of their choices were weird. Cena was the obvious one. AJ was kind of obvious because she was like the women's champion and she's pretty much the face of the women's division. Those two made sense.
Triple H made sense because he's kind of the head of everything.
Triple H kind of made sense. Or he wasn't COO to Triple H at that point in this, but which was also kind of weird. Vince being on there was weird, and the fact it wasn't like you had like Sin Cara and Miz and stuff. These guys barely get on TV.
Brodus Clay.
Yeah.
Yep.
The thing that made the Triple H thing weird is the fact that he had short hair. He's never had short hair and not been the COO, people.
Yep. Although I'm gonna say as well with these, I will say a couple of things because we're going to be talking. Oh, this kind of goes into the story, but also goes into them. I loved Miz being the butt monkey.
Yes, but I think they did it because of his catchphrase.
Yeah, really. That was just awesome. They went through the hospital bed, really. And I also loved the power walk of, who's awesome? I'm awesome. Who's awesome? I'm awesome.
And when he drops the headset here, he's listening to his own theme song.
Yes, which I loved. Yeah. I loved that. I will say, I loved AJ training him. And it turns out they said she was more sadistic than Kane.
That was pretty funny.
I also love that the way they portrayed her, she skips even when she's not in the ring.
Yep. I will say I loved what they did with Kane.
Yes.
Where they made Kane like a cross between WWE and Scooby Doo monsters if he was just a ridiculous over the top monster at this point.
Yeah.
But and I will say Cena surprised me.
Oh.
The Cena Boulder save was hilarious, but my favorite, I mentioned this to Marcus, my favorite scene in the entire movie is John Cena with Sin Cara.
Yes.
I loved it. Luckily, I speak masked luchador, and it's like, and Sin Cara's there like doing fucking Ginyu Squad style poses as Cena narrates the fucking story. Fucking genius. I want these two to be a tag team.
I know. I want to see this on TV now. Yes.
And I loved what they did with Sin Cara. And this may not mean as much to you guys, but yay, he masked Squint. He did a mask Squint.
Yeah, he did. That was awesome. Anime.
Oh, I'm not thinking anime. I'm saying mask Squint because, as people know, I'm also a member of comic site and stuff. That was a big topic at one point about how someone went off on how ridiculous they found Spider-Man masked squinting. Because he always does the mask squint to show emotion. It's like, his mask should not move like that. And it was a real thing that people were nitpicking like fucking. Sin Cara doesn't mask squint. His mask actually squints to show emotion. I loved Sin Cara.
It's like
But
if they don't do a mask squint, how do you expect them to show emotion?
exactly, I know, I understand that, but it's still one of those things. It shouldn't work, but
Yes.
I like that, and I loved all the stuff that they did with the wrestlers. But those ones I mentioned there were my favorites. I don't know what you guys thought about the portrayals or what you guys liked.
I liked it. Personally, I thought Triple H would insist that he have more of an action or active role, aside from guy who throws the switch to activate the power generators.
He was also the billboard as you come into the city,
That's true.
where his line was looped like fuck.
Yeah, it was. Also, I'm surprised he allowed himself to basically be buried, because he and
Yep,
Brodus like charge the bear, and Triple H promptly gets his ass kicked.
yep. The bear was awesome.
I love the design of that bear.
Indeed.
That design was just brilliant. But yeah, I do love the big Triple H billboard, because that's my favorite use of the really. When Miz climbs up and the bear's starting to hack away at it, he just looks down and goes, "Really?"
Yep, I like that too. Really, boom, it just collapses. It's wonderful. It's almost like the fucking Roadrunner holding up the sign, Wile E. Coyote thing with the holding up the sign of like, oh god, and or help and stuff. It's just wonderful. Really, dumb.
Yeah, Miz was brilliant. Although, is it me, or did they not actually try to make Michael Cole look like Michael Cole?
That was something I thought was weird. The fact it was only Michael Cole. Where was
Yeah.
Lawler and stuff for the commentary?
Right.
But yeah, Michael Cole did not look like Michael Cole, kind of.
Well, it's possible that at the time they were recording this could have been around the time that Lawler had his heart attack.
True, but you think they could have got someone like JBL, or someone
Yeah.
one of the ones that
True.
replaced him to do it.
True. I don't know.
Oh man, not again. Can I get another desk out here, please?
Yep.
I love that recurring joke. Yeah, it's just the way they represented the WWE and WWE matches. I actually kind of liked the hyper realistic version of WWE.
Yeah.
It was also over the top and cartoony where anything can fucking happen, like the cage match at the end.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. But I will also say, small, slight nitpick thing.
Mhm.
And this isn't really a nitpick, more of a personal thing. I kind of wish it was Undertaker, not Kane, because it was WrestleMania. Then you could have also done the whole he's not lost at WrestleMania.
That's true. That's true.
Mm.
Because imagine what you'd think if you were if you were a wrestling fan and you were watching Scooby Doo v the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and you're like, oh god, no, Scooby's gonna break the streak in the until the bear thing happens. You'd be annoyed.
I think it would have looked cooler with the Undertaker instead of Kane. Because imagine the opening sequence, but instead of Kane in the rain or in the dark forest, you just see this guy, and all you see is this black trench coat and a black hat and a pair of glowing eyes.
Yeah, and also you could also play with the fact Undertaker pretty much is a zombie, so you could really play with the supernatural, like grave rising and stuff. Because admit it, Scooby Doo and Shaggy shitting himself when a hand comes up out of grave as Undertaker's emerging for WrestleMania, priceless. That would be priceless.
Yes, yes, it would.
And
So,
how
all
about
right.
Jim?
Yes,
Jim's
go ahead, Jim.
quiet.
Um. Yeah, I really liked all the aspects. I didn't think I was going to. I thought it was gonna feel really forced, and shockingly, it didn't. It really blended well together, both the Scooby characters and the wrestlers. I thought it was really cool that they did that. And not only was it they, appropriately represented WWE, but they also appropriately kept all the necessary Scooby Doo tropes to make it work. They got there. There was a chick in a position of authority who was clearly acting evil that everybody thought was going to be the villain and wasn't. There was a nice innocent guy that was on their side that, of course, turned out to be the monster. And there was the other guy that could have been the monster, but turned out to actually also be a good guy and got to what he wanted, even though he was denied what he wanted in the end. So that was pretty cool.
I'll be honest. I thought it was gonna be that what you call it, like the guy, like the hermit with the shotgun guy. I thought it was gonna be him.
I would also
I
like to
thought,
mention I was kind of disappointed they did nothing with him. Like he just kind of disappeared. And it's like,
I
to
will.
me, that's uncharacteristic of Scooby Doo, because in Scooby Doo they usually tie up all the loose ends, and that's one loose end they never tied up. They just kind of conveniently forgot about him.
And I'm
But
also going to say, I'm also so shocked at something too.
what's that?
What's that?
That was something I was I was going to mention as well. I was hoping one of you'd bring her up. Why they have really wanted an evil female in charge that you would think could possibly be evil? Why wasn't it Stephanie or Vicky?
I don't know.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stephanie would have fit that role perfectly, and at first I thought it was her, and then I'm like, no, that's not Steph. Who the hell is this chick?
Yeah.
Also, why didn't they use the new title?
My guess is that's how long ago it was made.
Yeah,
It was my guess is because look at Kane. Kane's
True.
still got his mask on, and if you look at some of their outfits, it looks like it would have been filmed like just before WrestleMania and stuff last year, so they could animate it and stuff.
Also,
I
take a
don't
look at Sin Cara. He's short and doesn't have a tattoo,
True.
and has skill.
Mm. And AJ's not that he was champion or an evil bitch.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
She's definitely evilly sadistic and a bitch-ish with how she trained them.
True.
Yeah,
She was a Scooby Doo style of evil
AJ.
bitch. Yeah, she was kind of crazy. My guess is they started to make this before WrestleMania last year. It's the only way that makes sense because it takes a while to animate these films. Because we did hear about this before WrestleMania last year. Because I was sort of shocked it didn't come out last year.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, was I the only one disappointed that they didn't do anything with that Hunter guy? That the last time you ever see him, he's just like, yeah, they're walking into a trap better than I could create. And then you just never hear from him again. It's like, wait, what?
My guess is he assumed they were dead. But I kind of like it, only because, like I mentioned, I thought he was going to be turned. It was going to turn out he was the bear, but he wasn't. Because I do like the fact in Scooby Doo they tend to do that, where they throw a few red herrings, so you don't necessarily know who it's going to be. Which it was wonderful. I did enjoy it, and they played with it well enough that I wasn't shocked we didn't see him, if that makes sense, because it's one of those red herrings in Scooby Doo where you think it's going to be him, but you never see that guy again.
Mm-hmm. Except that usually in Scooby Doo, like I said, at least to me, they throw all those red herrings out, and usually the character that's like that Hunter, usually he comes out, he's like, no, see, I was an FBI agent all the time, kind of thing. It's like you discover who he actually is and why he's got that chip on his shoulder or whatever, you know. And it's like with this one, they didn't even address it. He just kind of disappeared with his pet raccoon.
Yep.
My dad was pissed at that guy didn't pull back his hair and reveal that he was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna end up being like some WWE superstar or something.
Mm-hmm.
He gets struck by lightning and he's Undertaker as he turns back with the.
That's what I was
his
thinking.
hair
That would have been
turns black.
awesome.
That would have been amazing.
He walks in. Now y'all are in my yard. Ka-choom!
Dun.
It's like, oh shit, it's
Shazam!
yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
I never want to hear anyone say Shazam and turn into Undertaker. I just scratch. I kind of want to see that.
And also, was
But
I the only one that was a little thrown off at Vince McMahon not being the bad guy?
yep. Well, that would have been a little too obvious. Rips off the mask. It was me all along.
Well, no, I mean
Yeah,
not being the bad guy, but it's like he of all the characters in there, he was the one being nice. He was all the one saying, "Yeah, come on in, do this, do that. I'm gonna give you guys a chance." And you have this, like you said, this random woman who's basically the Vince McMahon of the film. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, like I said, to be fair with how long ago this was filmed, just before Vince got replaced, like a few months before he started to be evil again, Vince was actually nice.
Yeah.
We had good Vince again, remember when he started to wear his bright coloured shirts and bright coloured suits and stuff.
Yeah, he has bright pink jacket and crap.
This is true.
Although I wish he was kind of in his bright pink jacket during this.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been amazing.
I was also surprised, like I said, I was surprised by the people they chose. Because I was honestly surprised there was no Sheamus or fucking Randy Orton or anyone like that. It was the only main eventer we got was Cena and Kane.
And Triple H.
Well, I don't count Triple H as a main eventer because at the time he was more because at the time it's come out, he's more authority figure, and he should have been in
True.
this too. But
Yeah, well, I think the reasoning, and I will say, yeah, I agree with you. I'm surprised Sheamus wasn't in there, but I understand Orton because maybe at the time it was filmed, maybe. But you have to realize the reason is because all the superstars they put in were all of the kid-friendly superstars that the kids love. That's why they put them in there.
Then why did they go with Sin Cara over Rey Mysterio?
why did he go with Kane?
Yeah, that too.
Because they needed a big, pissed-off, intimidating dude, so they went with Kane.
Big Show.
And
Undertaker.
Big Show's too friendly. People like him. Undertaker's always a good guy. Doesn't work. They needed a guy that you could believe was legitimately evil and would kill somebody. And Kane comes with fire.
He does. Kane does come with fire.
And so as for Rey Mysterio, I don't know, but I feel like it's because they wanted to work in this whole backstory, and they needed a way to explain it off. And if you had Rey Mysterio, it would have been harder to explain because people kind of know his backstory. Whereas Sin Cara is a complete mystery. People don't know much about him, so they can make up this bullshit backstory, and kids would believe it.
Okay.
Plus, I think
Great
at the
Bear
time,
fought Sin Cara Grande.
yeah. Plus, I will also say part of it may have also been at the time this film was being made. At one point, they were pushing Sin Cara heavily as they wanted people to believe he was like a superhero. That
This
kind
is
of
true.
works.
Well,
But where was Hornswoggle?
Yeah.
I would like Hornswoggle cosplaying as Scrappy.
There you go.
How hilarious would that be if Hornswoggle dressed up? Hornswoggle puts on his costume. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be Scooby Doo," and he puts on a Scooby Doo costume. And for the rest of the movie, they're all referring to him as Scrappy.
Leprechaun power.
No, I'm kidding. That those are two things I never want to see in either WWE or Scooby Doo. Is Scrappy or fucking Hornswoggle. But no, what did you think about the new character?
The black guy?
Yeah, and his dad.
That was kind
they
of
were
cool.
I like the Bone Breaker.
I think WWE may have skipped a beat with this one, in my opinion.
Oh.
How's that?
They had I don't mean offense by that, but they had a black guy on there, and none of the models looked like what they do in real life quite anyway. They had a black guy on there called, what the fuck he was called? Well, but they had him on there. It would have made so much sense if the week after this film came out, why not debut a new black superstar from NXT and give him the name of the Scooby Doo character?
That would have been cool.
And fuck it, that would be his backstory.
There you go.
That'd be awesome.
But they never found want to go to WWE City and want to know where the fuck it was.
WWE City is right here, Jim. It's in your heart. It's in the heart of every child, every woman, every man, every Marcus. Is that better? That doesn't help, does it? No, I'm kidding with that, but it would have made sense to do that, to use it as like a backdoor to sneak a new guy on, like TNA did with the CAW guy. And they used it to create a debut a new superstar. That would have been awesome.
It would have been. It would have been.
Was I the only one who was disappointed that they didn't actually animate Kane sitting up when Scooby Doo splashed the water on him? Because I was so looking forward to just seeing Kane just sit up behind the bear.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, Kane's not done that much for years. That's more. They've kept that now for more the Undertaker thing.
Yeah.
But I loved how Kane looked as well. He was wonderful. And unlike Slam City, which we have reviewed, Dan, that will be up on the site eventually, but it's a case of, with the Scooby-Doo thing, they used all the wrestlers' voices too. That's important because they didn't with Slam City.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, am I the only one that was said that Lawler had slaughtered and Jimmy Hart didn't get any lines?
Yep. And I will also say, I was also shocked. The WWE people voiced themselves, and it sounded natural. It sounded like a cartoon. The reason I say that, whenever I've seen WWE record lines and stuff like, go play any story mode on the wrestling game when they've used voices, every time it doesn't sound natural. It sounds like that wrestler is sat in a recording booth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is a cartoon made by people from Hanna-Barbera who know how to make cartoons and get people to be their characters.
pretty much.
Kind of, yeah. Although it's not the real Hanna-Barbera, but yes.
Well, Hanna-Barbera had to at least grant the rights for him to make the cartoon.
I thought Hanna-Barbera was dead. I thought it was
Well,
like
yes,
a new
the actual
company.
guys are, but the company lives on.
Yeah, the company lives
This
on,
is
but
made by the actual company, Jim. Or did you not see their logo at the beginning of the movie?
no.
I said it was. I know.
Jim said it was. Jim said it was. I said it wasn't. It's not the actual Hanna-Barbera.
Mhm.
Which, yeah, because like I said, to be fair, since Hanna-Barbera died, we've had a lot of bad with this stuff too. Let's not
This
forget
is true.
that.
This is true. This is true.
Like we've had loads of bad fucking stuff. But yeah, anyway, the point was, yeah, their voices sound natural, which I was shocked at.
Yeah.
They sounded like they matched, if that makes sense. So more effort's been put into this to polish it up, which I liked.
Yeah, because WWE didn't make this. They helped produce it, but they didn't make it.
See, I thought WWE films were helping make it. I wasn't sure, but it was awesome.
I think they were more the producer, and Hanna-Barbera was the actual, like, developer, if you will.
Did we lose Jim?
I'm right here.
Good. We need to see some more of these in the future.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I know they're planning to do a Flintstones one, but
Yeah.
I kind of want to see the wrestlers with, not wrestlers. I kind of want to, I want to see the wrestlers in other cartoons.
That's dependent. This one happened to work in other environments. I don't know, because you do realize that, especially with this next one, we're gonna get. And this is actually written in documentations. We're getting things like John Cena Stone.
How's that different to any other time the Flintstones have had celebrities?
I know, but this you're gonna have a whole lot of them at once, and it's gonna all seem really unoriginal because there's only so many words related to fucking rocks.
Yep.
If you smell.
Ha!
He needs to be in it. But yeah, I will say, basically though, with that, it's not going to be that unoriginal. It's the Flintstones. They make it work. We know what it is. It works. The Flintstones. It seems unoriginal with the names, but its humor comes from other stuff. It works like a sitcom. You need to turn your brain off as well for the Flintstones. Let's not forget the Flintstones, set during caveman time, involves them interacting with dinosaurs, which humans and dinosaurs didn't interact, and it also includes Santa for Christmas. How's there Christmas if Jesus isn't born yet? Assuming you believe in Jesus, that's still meant to be the reason we have Christmas.
Yep.
This is true. And speaking of gaps in logic, thank you for that segue, Chris. Let's talk a little bit about some of the gaps in logic in this thing. Not a lot of it, because as you and I discussed before, yeah, this is Scooby fucking Doo. It's not supposed to be logical.
And you can turn your brain off for some of it.
Yeah, exactly. But there was one thing two things that bugged me. One that just really bugged the crap out of me, and I've mentioned both of these to you, Mole. I would like to get, well, that opinion on record and also Jim's opinion of, okay, the EMP bomb is on the back of the replica belt. Yeah, how did no one notice a giant EMP C4 thing taped to the back of the goddamn belt? Really? If it was in the belt, I could understand, but Velma turns the belt over and it's like basically taped on the back of it. I'm like, how do you not notice that when you are putting it back in the case?
Because nice black guy's dad looked at it and said it was a real belt, and they believed him.
Which is fine, but again, when you're physically handling the belt and putting it in the case, how do you not notice the big ass bomb strapped to the back of it?
Because it's Scooby Doo. How does a dog talk? You hadn't mentioned the EMP bomb to me, but yeah, I'd say how does a dog talk? But no, my guess is it looked like the belt because it taped over it. Didn't they tape over with black tape so it matched color wise?
I think that was supposed to be what it was, but then if you look at when Velma actually turns it over, okay, granted the lights on it were on because it had the timer thing, but even with it off, you look at it, it looks like a fucking plastic explosive strapped to the back of the WWE title. You can't mistake that for anything other than a plastic fucking explosive.
Well, considering WWE can't even figure out what happened 3 months ago, yeah, they're not that bright.
This is true.
But no, the plastic thing, you could argue either A, it was a fake belt, and it could be the fact since, as Jim put it, old black man said it was the right belt. It's possible he made the switch for the EMP after it was in the case. He just needs to verify it first, and it was done off screen.
That's possible.
That's possible. I don't know. It was just kind of weird that because I wasn't
It does
expecting
seem
it to
weird.
be that blatantly obvious that that's a bomb. It's like, how do you not notice a bomb strapped to your belt when you put it in the case?
Well,
What the hell?
What the hell?
That's not good. We are having audio difficulties with the mole.
why can you not hear me?
Oh, there you are.
All I said was might be my headset moved, but all I said was basically the thing of maybe they thought it was a custom title.
True.
There you go.
But yeah, I heard was scratching noises, and then I heard myself clearly through your side, Mole, for like a second.
Fair enough.
We'll have to edit that, but
It's fine. If you're listening to this and you heard that, yeah, my headset I'm using to record right now, it's slightly broke, which means now and again you sometimes hear people through it or something because I had to turn up the volume to match so I can actually hear, but then sometimes the actual volume kicks in, it's a little louder. It's cool, people. See, there you go, you don't have to edit anything.
there you go. But yeah, the other gap in logic, which I can kind of forgive, but it still just it kind of bugged me, and that was the fact that okay, old black dude knew who these kids were by the end of the movie because Vince McMahon did that background check and shit. It's like, so you know they are Mystery Inc. You know they solve fucking crimes for a living. You have the belt. Fucking leave, dude. If you go back in there, you might as well just turn yourself in because they're gonna catch you. It's what they do.
Yep. Which my point with that was he wanted to stop WrestleMania completely, therefore he had to be the bear to interfere in WrestleMania and ruin it.
True.
Which, like you said, that was also he also did the power, but I then used your logic of he may have known who they were and figured they'd probably get the power back up.
Right. I don't know.
Or fire off giant ass torches.
Yeah, it just seemed a little sketchy to me. That's all. But like I said, that one I can kind of forgive because
Yeah.
it's Scooby Doo.
It's cartoon criminal logic.
Yeah, that
Pretty
one I
much.
can forgive more than the blatantly obvious C4 strapped to the back of the belt.
Custom belt. Custom belt because it wasn't shown on the episode, but former WWE wrestler Adam Bomb was back, and that's his custom title. Who remembers Adam Bomb? Yeah, did you think he'd mention during this?
Ah.
But was there anything that annoyed you guys that seemed out of place?
Besides the host of the show? No, I'm kidding.
But,
I'm hugging Marcus.
Oh, thank you.
let's see. Things that seemed out of place.
Yeah, or just
The only thing
annoyed
for
you.
me with the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes were the only thing out of place. The rest of them, I was like under the thing of it's like Saturday morning cartoon logic. I can get over like Cena pushing a ball, being able to stop an entire fucking ball or lift up the mystery machine. I'm like, no, I can get behind that. It's cartoon logic.
Pretty much.
I can get behind that because
Also the cartoon.
Superman.
Also the cartoon logic of getting bashed in the face, rendering Cena asleep instead of unconscious.
Yep. I also will say the only other one would be the matchup itself with Kane and Scooby, where didn't it turn into like a cage match and a bear match and shit all at once, and they were okay with this?
You know, basically, it started off as a handicap match with Skinny Man and Dead Meat versus Kane. And then they were having the match, and eventually Shaggy reminded, after Kane started like tearing them apart, Shaggy reminded Scooby, it's the same as in the video game. You've got the moves, use them on Kane. And so he starts doing the dance moves, and he starts having the match with Kane and winning. Then the power cuts. Then the bear runs out while the torches are on. Then the torches go down. Then the power comes back on. Then Freddy activates the cage, and when the cage goes down, Cena, Sin Cara, after Triple H activates the power generators, Cena, Sin Cara, and the bone breaker jump in the ring, and it turns into what is basically a 6-on-1 handicap match against the bear.
Yeah, right, that's what I was talking about. It breaks down in a way WWE can't do. And I will also say that's another point.
That'd be
If that,
amazing if they could do that. I want to see that now.
yeah, that was another point of when I mentioned before of, and this is a personal thing. I'm not going to put the movie down for this one of, I would have rather it be Undertaker instead of Kane. If Undertaker was in the ring and beginning to lose and the lights go off, plausibly, it would have taken a little longer to get it back up as they'd think it was Undertaker. That's one of his powers.
Mm.
Yeah, except it wasn't only the lights that went off. Everything went out.
Yeah, everything went off, but you could honestly believe for a second, like everyone would be like, wait, did Undertaker just turn off the power? Wait, no, what? We've lost our feeds. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which it kind of would have worked, but yeah, I I liked the other stuff. I liked it enough for any small gaps in logic. They're so small and stuff. Or any gap nitpicks. They're so small. Like I'm like, I don't mind them.
Yeah. Also, I will say a couple of things. Number one, I did like how what they did with the fans, how they had the three guys with the WWE on their chest representing the fans in the crowd, but also had a family watching from home and a group of friends watching from home to show the different variety of audiences that WWE has. I thought that was pretty cool. They showed their reactions to everything as it was going on.
I was shocked they didn't have some virgin in his parents' basement and watch streaming it illegally.
Ah,
I
That
do.
would have worked.
Unfortunately, I don't think Marcus would give them the rights.
Fuck you.
Now, he's not in the basement.
Again,
See,
fuck you.
I had your back.
That's true. That's true. He's in the closet.
Oh, really? Fuck you.
Yeah, he's searching for Simon's wallet.
What?
He left it in there when he came out. Which I don't know, but no.
When the hell did this start?
Greatest comments ever, but no. It's a case of I liked it enough, but yeah.
I would
Are we
also
gonna
like. I would also like to say this movie is a gross misrepresentation of WWE gaming
Yes.
because they had a game that worked.
Yep. And that's something that, as well, that just makes me go, huh? With the game. Shaggy's favourite is with John Cena. Fair enough. Who knew that silent Mexicans in masks were like luchadors, high flying, like I said, don't speak or anything like that? Who knew they had the dog for audience? Who knew?
Huh.
I don't know.
You'd think like his favourite would have been Sheamus, like I mentioned.
There you go. But yeah, I think we've done a good job with this review. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with your guys' final thoughts of the film and rate it out of 10. Let's start with the mole.
Okay. My final thoughts are: if you can turn off your brain to watch, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean the same way you do normal cartoons. For example, if I'm watching, like I've seen Tom and Jerry meet Sherlock Holmes, I do not judge the Sherlock Holmes representation the same way I do that shitty, fucking, horrible Elementary that needs to be cancelled.
Mm.
Yeah, you included that one again, but yeah, I don't judge them the same way. I get over, kind of like, it's Tom and Jerry. Who gives a shit if it's accurate? It's like this one, the wrestling and the city and stuff. It's not accurate, but you can feel the heart behind it. You can feel the love for the wrestling behind it and stuff. So it's cool. There's enough Scooby Doo stuff as well that makes it cool. There's enough inside jokes to do with Scooby Doo and the wrestling that makes it cool. And besides minor little things I nitpicked, it's an enjoyable experience. As a Scooby Doo film and as a kids animated film, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Actually, maybe a 9.5 out of 10.
Fair enough, Mr. Phoenix.
I think I agree with them all on that. I agree it's worth a 9 out of 10. It's the WWE superstars are just awesome to see, even though it makes no sense with the as we know it in real life. Well, in K-fob real life anyway, and as the characters are today because it took so long to produce. It's still awesome to see and see all the different characters, the versions of the characters in this world and how they tie into the Scooby Doo world, and the fact they kept both elements of Scooby Doo mysteries and the WWE characters and everything seemed legit. It was just really, really well done overall. So I'd say a 9 out of 10. And you, Marcus?
I also give it a 9 out of 10. And I'd also like to mention something here that I'm honestly surprised we didn't really hit on too much during the review, and that this is a great family film, and it's a great way to get your kids interested in WWE.
Neat.
It is.
Because did this movie not make your nephew want to watch wrestling?
Kind of. He watched Slam City first, then he watched this, and the combination of both made him want to watch it. But it definitely does help.
Mm-hmm.
It's also worth noting for those of you listening at home, I rented my copy of this to review it. I rented mine from the PlayStation Network. I believe Marcus and James did the same thing.
Yes.
If you had bought the DVD of it, it also includes a bonus, a pub named Scooby Doo episode. And I also believe there's also a backstage segment interviewing the wrestlers and the voice actors about this film. So that looks pretty cool. That looks like you're really getting a bang for your buck if you go out and buy it.
Is that the pup named Scooby Doo episode where they went to the big wrestling arena and they fought the evil wrestling ghost cow?
It may be. It may be because
Nice.
I think that would make sense. I don't know. I haven't seen the episode, if that makes sense. I just know it included
Fair enough.
one because I looked at the box the other day.
Fair enough.
But yeah, this is,
And I will totally be buying this.
But yeah, just turn your brain off for a moment and just to have fun. This is a great movie to have fun with. It has things that appeal to multiple demographics, and it was just done really well, from the presentation to the voice acting, to the not over usage of WWE stuff.
Agreed.
And to they pushed him as a Superman. They did it tastefully with John Cena, which I appreciate. But this was a really good movie. Get your kids and watch it and have fun. 9 out of 10 from me.
I will also say, Scooby Doo wise, I do like Scooby Doo meets Batman. That may be my favourite. However, I think this has done the crossover better. Because usually on those new Scooby Doo films and the other Scooby Doo films that are crossovers, they're either really short, so you can excuse what they do, or they're just not that well produced or made, if that makes sense. Whereas this one, it was a crossover, but it didn't feel like it was a crossover. It felt like a normal film, so I liked it.
Well, I think part of the thing that helped is that with this crossover is it was crossing over with real people as opposed to Batman.
Yeah, but they've also crossed over with Sonny and Cher, the Addams family. Well, the Addams family aren't a real family, unfortunately. And I believe, didn't they also cross over with the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yep, and
they
the
did
Three
several
Stooges.
times, actually.
Yeah, which I believe the Harlem Globetrotters are real people. I haven't seen them.
Yes.
Except for in stuff like Futurama and TV shows where they reference them.
The Globetrotters are real.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure, if that was like one fictional team that everyone knows, or if it's something like just that they were there for stunts or something. I wasn't sure.
The idea of the Globetrotters is that they're effectively a fictional basketball team, but the idea is that they put on a basketball show where it's supposed to be a basketball game, but it's not really a game per se. It's more about the Globetrotters doing crazy things to entertain the fans than it is about playing basketball.
Did you just describe Space Jam?
Pretty much.
Fair enough.
Also, I believe Scooby Doo also did a crossover with the Three Stooges and Davy Jones.
Yeah. Yep. They've had a load, and they also had one with Speed Buggy. Woo.
Yep. Yeah, and they also had one with the Addams family. Woo.
Yep.
You
I mentioned the Addams family. Yeah. But yeah, I've enjoyed all the crossovers, just not as much as what I mean. This one didn't feel like that. And speaking of what we just mentioned, are we ever going to see Space Jam reviewed on Showtime?
No one knows.
No one knows.
I'm going to throw this out, Marcus. Will you be ready for next year's WrestleMania to review, and I'm pointing at a WrestleMania sign I've stuck to my wall with a post-it. I'm gonna say, ready to rumble. Wrestling's off fake. I'm kidding, but I totally want to review that.
There you go.
But I'm kidding because I know I'm probably not going to be able to get you to buy that, or rent it or anything. But I totally would review that if anyway if I ever go to, because I love that film.
Fair enough.
There you go.
But no, I think that'll do it for this review. It was very, very good. I enjoyed the review. Thank you guys, Mole and Phoenix, for joining me for this review.
Well, you're welcome.
And until next time, I've been your host, Marcus Shadow, showing you the light. Good night, everyone.
Peace.
No, the bear's attacking. Power out.